Today we will correct our Christmas worksheet. Let's start with exercise number 1. Here 4 beakers A, B, C and D are available. The content of each beaker is shown below. In beaker A we mix sand with water. In beaker B we mix oil with water. In beaker C we mix iron fillings with rice. And in beaker D we dissolve table salt completely in water. Number 1. Study the content of beaker A. It is required to resolve the mixture in beaker A. The following setup is used. Beaker A contains only sand and water. For question number 1.1, label the used setup. Number 1, it's the stand. Number 2, it's the filtered paper, which is placed inside the funnel, which is number 3. Number 4, it's the residue, which is collected on the filtered paper. 5, it's the beaker. And 6, it's the distillate. Now 1.2, name the corresponding separation technique. It's called filtration. 1.3, choose the correct answer. This separation technique is used to separate solid-solid heterogeneous mixture, solid-liquid heterogeneous mixture, or solid-liquid homogeneous mixture. So here it's part B, solid-liquid heterogeneous mixture, since here in beaker A we have sand and water. 1.4, identify the obtained residue and filtrate. Filtrate is the liquid which passes through the filter paper. So water here is the filtrate. Residue is the solid which is left on the filter paper. So sand is the collected residue. Now number 2, study the content of beaker B. In order to separate the components of beaker B, we use the following setup. 2.1, specify the type of the mixture in beaker B. Since beaker B contains oil and water, so we can say that it is a liquid-liquid heterogeneous mixture, since it is made up of 2 different phases. 2.2, name the corresponding separation technique. It's decantation using separatory funnel. Now 2.3, label A, B and C. So here A, it's the separatory funnel, B, it's the oil, C, it's the water. 2.4, complete the following statement. Oil and water are 2 immiscible liquids. Water is denser than oil. Number 3, study the content of beaker C. In order to separate the components of beaker C, we use a magnet as shown in the figure below. Don't forget that beaker C contains iron fillings and rice. 3.1, name the corresponding separation technique. It's called magnetic sorting. 3.2, indicate the name of the substance attracted by the magnet. Here iron fillings will be attracted toward the magnet. Number 4, study the content of beaker D. In order to resolve the content of beaker D, the following setup is used as shown in the figure below. 4.1, name the corresponding separation technique. It's called simple distillation. 4.2, label capital letters A, B, C and D. For capital letter A, it's the round bottomed flask. Capital letter B, it's the condenser. Capital letter C, it's the Erlenmeyer flask. And capital letter D, it's the distillate which is collected inside the receiving Erlenmeyer flask. Now 4.3, identify the change of state that takes place in a glassware A. It's called vaporization. It's the change of state from the liquid state into the gaseous state. Now identify the change of state that takes place in glassware B. It's called condensation. It's the change of state from the gaseous state into the liquid state. Now moving to exercise number 2. Complete the following statements using the words in the box. The density of a pure substance is constant, whereas the density of a mixture is variable. Hydrometer is a device used to measure the density of a liquid. The identity of each substance in a mixture is not changed. Orange juice and blood are two heterogeneous mixtures. Orange juice is made up of two phases. We have the liquid phase and the pulp, while blood consists of plasma and hemoglobin. A homogeneous mixture is made up of only one phase. Now moving to exercise 3, matching. Centrifuging, it's a fast, precise way to separate a heterogeneous mixture. Decantation, it's a less precise way to separate a heterogeneous mixture. And finally, distillation, it's a precise way to separate a homogeneous mixture. Now exercise number 4. We dissolve completely a small amount of table salt in distilled water, and then we add some sand to obtain the following mixture. Number 1. Identify the type of the obtained mixture. It is a solid liquid heterogeneous mixture since it is made up of two phases. Now, the obtained mixture here is filtered using a funnel and a filter paper as shown in the adjacent figure. 2.1. Identify the filtrate and the residue. Filtrate is the liquid which passes through the filter paper, so here salty water is the filtrate. Residue is the solid which is left on the filter paper, so here sand is the residue. Specify if the filtrate here in this case is a mixture or a pure substance. Salty water is the filtrate. It is a mixture of salt and water. Number 4. Suggest a separation technique that can be used to resolve the components of the filtrate, which is salty water. We can use simple distillation. Now moving to exercise number 5, choose the correct answer. If you want to separate iron fillings from sand, you would use a funnel, filter paper, magnet, or a separatory funnel. We can use a magnet to attract the iron fillings. Number 2. A student accidentally poured a yellow liquid into a beaker containing water in the laboratory. The yellow liquid is immiscible in water and is less dense than water. Name the technique that must be used to separate the two liquids. Simple distillation, decantation by separatory funnel, filtration, or crystallization. Since the two liquids are immiscible, so we can use decantation by separatory funnel, so it's part B. Now moving to question number 3. Select the correct order for obtaining salt from a mixture of sand and salt. Dissolving the salt in water, filtration, then evaporation, or evaporation, filtration, dissolving the salt in water, or filtration, then dissolving the salt in water, then evaporation. Here in this case we can use part A. We will dissolve the salt completely in water, then we will perform filtration, then we will evaporate the water to obtain the salt. And finally, question number 4. Which apparatus is not suitable in simple distillation? Condenser, thermometer, round-bottomed flask, or separatory funnel. For sure, it's part D. It's the separatory funnel. Please be safe and keep up the good work. Thanks for watching.